What's going on, Cardinal Nation? Richie Juliano back with you here with YSNLive.com. Another coach's profile as Mike Pavlansky joins us here from Cocca's Pizza, the sponsor of our coaches and players profile this season. Coach, thanks for coming out again this week.
Appreciate being here, Richie. It's great to be out here with the Coccas, and what a great family that is, and tremendous sponsor of all of Canfield Athletics.
And now we talked last Wednesday. Everything was normal. Everything going into Cleveland JFK was straightforward. Then some things happened off the field. It was not COVID.
Nope.
Just for everybody at home, it was not COVID. Just talk about that week and the adjustments you had to make before the game.
Yeah, we had an unfortunate illness go through our locker room, basically, and got that place disinfected really well. And we were missing about 18 guys Friday evening, and credit our young kids and the backups all stepped in and did a tremendous job, and thought that our starters in the first quarter played at a high level, and were able to put 4 touchdowns on the board, and we were able then to freely sub everybody else into the ball game.
Now talk about Drew Caruso, who stepped in for Brock Lowry this week as the quarterback. I think he controlled the game quite well.
He did. You're right, Richie. Drew's been a quarterback all the way up, and the last couple of years as he worked quarterback, we also worked him in the slot and try and take advantage of his athleticism. And with Brock being out, Drew went back and was our quarterback. He was able to just manage the game like you said, and again played that first quarter and got his feet wet in case we ever need him again, and pleased with his progress.
Now with 18 players out, your team did not make any excuses. They came out and they punched JFK right in the gut, 35-0 at half, like you mentioned. I think it was 12 plays and 4 touchdowns, just like that. You had to be thrilled with that first half.
We certainly were, and we talk about that all the time, that everybody's going to have issues during the season sometime. Any team you play, obviously we had issues last week. There are no excuses. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you if you don't have your starting quarterback, you don't have your starting right tackle, okay, and whoever it may be. You just got to go play. And because you practiced all week long, you practiced all summer long, we believe you can get in there and do a great job for your teammates, and it's your time to shine, and maybe go in there and open up some eyes and look for some more playing time as the season goes on.
Now, we mentioned it was 35-0 at the half. You decided to pull the starters away, give the younger kids some playing time. The JV team got out there, struggled a little bit offensively, couldn't really move the ball too well. Just talk about how important that was for your JV squad to see the varsity level.
I think for them to play on a Friday night, anytime they can play on a Friday night, it's a positive. It's something they can get better at and use as they move on in the program the next year or two. JFK has some players. There's no doubt about that, and especially their running back, the Farmer kid, I believe was his name, number 5. And, we had trouble tackling him in the second half, but I thought our JVs, or really young kids that played on a Friday night in the second half, gave great effort. Obviously we need to be better tacklers. We got to be better technically on the offensive and defensive lines. And, from a running back standpoint, obviously we got to pick out the holes maybe a little bit better. But that's all a matter of being young. There's no great cause of concern because we gave up 14 points in the second half and we didn't score. Our kids went in and played hard, and, we'll build from there.
Now let's talk about your upcoming opponent in New Philadelphia. This is going to be a very physical and a fantastic game. I mean, last season it came down to a one-possession game. This is going to be a tough test for your program here in Week 4.
No doubt. It's Dover redone. It's just Dover in point 2, if you want to say. You throw on the tape, they look like Dover. They're big, fast, physical kids. We got a wideout that can fly. Got a running back that's very, very good, like Dover had. Quarterbacks are very comparable. Defensively, big physical across the front, and linebackers that run downhill very well. Hopefully we've learned and progressed from the Dover loss, and we're going to find that out Friday evening. Last year, we won the first half. We were up 31-14 at halftime. They won the second half 10-0. Like you said, we hung on for a 1-score win.
Yeah, now let's talk about this road trip. This is the longest road trip your team's going to take in the regular season. How does that prepare you for the playoffs? Because once you get to the playoffs, you're going to have to make an hour-and-a-half, 2-hour trip.
That's exactly right, Richie. That's why we do it. Somewhere in the season, we want to pick out a team that we could take a long road trip for. And, we're fortunate that our Gridiron Club is going to provide charter buses. Anytime we go over an hour, our guys are able to jump on a charter bus, and we're able to dress and tape at the away facility. And, that's going to help us, hopefully, as we get into postseason, if we're fortunate to get there and we qualify. The longer you go in the postseason, the further you're going to end up traveling. Last year we had to travel to Chardon, which was an hour and a half away, and our guys handled the trip really well, but obviously the game didn't turn out very well. Last year it was Dover. We went to Dover by bus, and our kids were used to taking a long trip, get off the bus, get ready to play, and go play a ball game.
We're here with Mike Pavlansky, the head ball coach for the Canfield Cardinals football team, brought to you by Cocca's Pizza. Coach, we just sat down with Mike Crawford, one of your senior leaders. His family has done so much for this program. All three brothers have worked so hard, and I think he just carries on the family tradition of a hard worker.
Yeah, absolutely, Richie. Mike was a special kid. There's no doubt about that. We were fortunate to have, David and Nick in the program, and obviously David and Nick had great success football-wise, and certainly in a wrestling standpoint by winning state championships. And the one thing we've always told Michael, you're good enough. Just be Michael. You don't have to be Nick. You don't have to be David. Be Michael, and that's going to be plenty good enough for you and your teammates and our coaches.
Now let's talk about your football team this upcoming week. Is everybody healthy now after sitting out for 1 week?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the majority of our guys back. We still have a couple guys that are sick with this virus, and hoping to get them back in the next day or two, but probably won't see them on the field till next week. But, from our starting standpoint, we should be ready to go Friday.
Good. And what are some of your keys to victory on Friday night against New Philadelphia? A huge matchup, like you mentioned, reminds you of Dover. What are some keys to victory?
One key, you got to be able to run the ball, and you got to be able to stop the run. We didn't do that against Dover, and if we can do that Friday night, we're going to have a real good shot of winning in the fourth quarter. If they're able to run the ball and stop our run, we're probably looking at the same outcome for Dover.
Now, playing Dover before you did New Philadelphia, does that prepare your team differently than what it would be if you didn't play Dover?
No, not at all. I don't think so. It's just that, each team is by itself, and you learn from the games you had beforehand. Last year, we played New Philly first and then went to Dover the next week. So I don't think it matters which, sequence you play teams in. You just want to keep learning lessons, and you want to get better. And, the lesson we learned from Dover is we've got to be able to run the football.
One last question for you before we let you go. Outside of the keys to victory, what do you want to see from the guys that are coming back after that illness? Brock Lowry, Danny English, just to name a few. What do you want to see from those guys in that first half?
Well, we're looking for their stamina. There's no doubt about that. How much can they go, and how hard can they go? How long can they go? Our coaches will be really in tune to a snap count for those guys. And if we got to pull them off the field for a play or two to allow them to, catch their breath, we're certainly going to do that. We're not going to throw them out there like we did the first couple of weeks and say, hey, have at it, go play all those snaps. That can't happen. We've got to be really in tune to snap counts Friday night.
Coach, we appreciate you coming out.
Thanks,
always
Richie.
A pleasure talking to you. You can watch the Canfield football team on Friday night at New Philadelphia on ysnlive.com. We will have the call here on YSN. This has been another Coach's Profile brought to you by Cocca's Pizza.